When a 14-year-old girl proposed to help buy a house, her mother was taken aback. But it was only when she stepped inside the newly renovated property that her shock truly set in. Willow Tufano was, in many ways, an ordinary teenager. She was a huge Lady Gaga fan, loved animals, enjoyed walking her dogs, and cherished time with her friends. Like any other adolescent, she had her moody days and occasionally clashed with her mother, but that was typical. What truly distinguished Willow from her peers was that she was already a homeowner. At just 7 years old, she witnessed the booming housing market in Florida, where property values soared month after month. Landlords were thriving, and the neighborhood was alive with activity. It was an exciting time to be there. Willow's family moved into a large home, and her mom became a real estate agent. But as Willow grew into her teenage years, the market started to change. The boom could never last forever, and soon people were left with large homes they could no longer afford. Foreclosures became common, and day after day, more and more people were getting evicted from their homes. The neighborhood started to empty out, and the whole area began to look poor and desolate, a stark contrast to how things had been just a few years before. After this housing collapse, Willow's mom started working with investors who were interested in buying the empty homes for very cheap and renting them out. Their requests made sense from a financial point of view, as a home that had someone in it would generate more money than just an empty building. During one meeting with her mom, an investor asked to take a look around an abandoned house, and Willow accompanied him. The house had once been a family home, and there was still a lot of stuff inside. The family had obviously moved in a hurry and only taken what they needed. They had never returned for what they left behind. So the belongings just sat there. Upon seeing it, Willow started to form an idea in her mind. She often watched TV shows where people bought and sold different things, and if they could do it, then why couldn't she? She offered to take all the items off the investor's hands so she could sell them. The investor, who just wanted a clear and empty house to work on, was more than happy for the teenage girl to take all the stuff away. It didn't matter to him where it went or what she did with it, as long as it was out of his sight. Without further ado, Willow took it all and started listing the items on the internet. She sold many of the furniture and appliances from the abandoned house on Craigslist and made a tidy profit. She then offered to do the same for several other abandoned houses. Again, she sold items on Craigslist and eBay, and after a while, Willow was making around $500 per month, a considerable amount of money for a young girl. She didn't just spend this money on silly things. Instead, she saved it and invested it in other ventures, all the while still selling items that she acquired from empty homes. She really was quite the entrepreneurial young lady. One day, Willow's mother, Shan, went to take a look at a 2-bedroom concrete block home that was up for auction for $12,000. That was a fantastic price at the time, made even more shocking by the fact that it had once cost a little over $100,000 at the peak of the housing boom. Suffice it to say, the property was lovely and spacious and would have made a fantastic home. When decorated properly, the place could be beautiful. Unfortunately, it was very much a mess at the time and would take quite a bit of fixing up. It looked as if people had broken in while it had been abandoned and had messed up the inside. The windows were smashed, the walls were painted on, and even the wiring and cabling had been channeled out of the walls and taken away to be sold for scrap. Despite its size and once grand appearance, the house looked like far too much hard work for most people. However, Shannon saw an opportunity. It had once been beautiful, and it could be beautiful again. She could fix a lot of it up herself, and she knew many people in the business who could help her out and provide her with all the materials she might need to restore the home to its former glory. Shannon started to plan it all out, making all kinds of decisions and coming up with ideas. But something was about to happen that she did not plan for or even consider. That day, Willow approached her mother with a proposition, a business proposition. Willow had saved up well over £8,000 from her small business transactions and offered to meet her mother halfway by buying half of the house with her. Shannon laughed at the idea of her 14-year-old daughter buying a house at such a young age, but it quickly became clear that Willow wasn't joking or pulling some kind of prank. She was serious. She had the funds to buy half of the house, and she could rent it out and split the monthly profits. Willow had it all figured out. She had done her research and determined that if they rented the property to someone for around $750 per month, she could make $375 per month after it was split. If that was the case, It would take a year and a half for her to make her initial investment back. Shannon was staggered by Willow's diligence and plan, and she couldn't turn her down. So together, the modern teenage daughter duo bought the house. Soon enough, Willow and Shannon started to fix the house up. They cleared off all the rubbish, had the windows replaced, fixed the walls, and began to decorate it. However, after a few weeks of hard work, Shannon had to return to her job. Willow offered to continue fixing the house up herself, and her mother, still genuinely impressed by how involved her daughter was with the purchase, agreed to let her take control of the project and finish off the final touches of the renovation herself. 9 or 10 days later, Willow called her mother to announce that she had completed the renovations and the house was ready for a visit. She wanted Shannon to put on her real estate agent hat and evaluate the property for potential rental income. Excited to see the results, Shannon opened the door, but nothing could prepare her for what lay inside. As she stepped into the house, she was rendered speechless. The walls were freshly painted, and the decor was lavish, featuring exquisite items that looked expensive and bespoke. It was a dream come true, and Willow had managed to acquire it all through her entrepreneurial efforts. Shannon could only utter a stunned wow as she moved from room to room, experiencing the same astonishment each time. Willow and Shannon eventually rented the house for $700 a month, and as Willow had predicted, she quickly recouped her initial investment and more. Shannon was in awe of her daughter's business acumen and felt immense pride in her accomplishments, especially at such a young age. Yet, she struggled to comprehend that a 14-year-old had not only helped buy a house, but was also generating passive income from it. Confident that Willow wouldn't stop at just one property, Shannon eagerly anticipated what the future held for her daughter. Now it's your turn. What are your thoughts on this remarkable story? How would you feel if your child managed to purchase and decorate such an impressive house at such a young age? We'd love to hear your opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest content. Thank you for watching.